And we are back.
We are back, Bumble Bitches.
Final recording of the year.
It is.
In terms of like actual release.
Right.
We will absolutely be recording again next week because, the show must go on.
Right. Start season 3 of the To Be Better podcast.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Are we going to record the bonus episode in the onesies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We got one for Ivy, right?
Well, yeah, but she's not going to match us.
It's close enough.
It's not.
No?
No.
Oh, no, we got her I remember what we got her.
It's completely different.
I'm so excited.
But I'm very curious to see how she's going to do being put into a onesie.
I think she's going to love it.
I think she's going to fucking...
I think she's going to be so cozy.
I doubt it.
And we're going to snuggle. It's going to be great.
You want to talk about your Bronco before we get into this?
Yes. So it's here. The pink Bronco is here. And I am obsessed with it. I am in love with it. Can't wait for the children to see it. I can't wait to go to the Everglades in it. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
We got there and I had my eyes closed and I had my hands over my eyes. I want to see it and ruin the surprise. And I looked at it and I lost my mind and I did a demon growl. And then I had to go and get my stuff out of my husband's car to go put it in my car. And I turned around and I looked at it and I threw my hand up. And my husband was like, what? I was like, I just turned around and saw it again. It makes me happy looking at it.
That's funny. Ariana said, I want to see the Bronco. We posted it to the Life account and we posted it in Discord. Mm-hmm. So there's video. So the holidays are upon us.
Yes, they are.
People will be invading homes, whether it's you invading others or them invading yours.
There's an invasion happening.
There is definitely an invasion happening. And this is a time where people are supposed to be in loving and gracious and
joyous,
hosting and
grateful.
Thankful. Yeah. And there's problems for most people at almost every one of these events.
Got to be civil.
Right.
Take a break if you need to take a break. They're my parents. Come on.
Right. So we should do a discussion about in-laws and holidays.
Okay.
If you were to host Thanksgiving or Christmas at our house, what would be the initial ground rules that you would establish before even talking to me about it? Like things that are a non-negotiable for you.
Just the fact that I'm hosting. No trash left around my house. We are using coasters. If you make a mess, you clean it up. If you see a mess, you clean it up. And then you let me know that someone made a mess and didn't clean it up. Because then I'm going to raise hell. You don't take anything out of my kitchen without permission. I order grocery shopping for me. When I do our grocery shopping, it is a very precise thing for me. We don't have extra cherries for you. No, I'm sorry. That's specifically for the pie we're eating tonight. And if I find out you eat it, I'm going to smack you with my spatula. Bap. And I'm going to send you out to find cherries. And that would suck if it's Thanksgiving and everything's closed. Looks like you're going to have to find some muck boots. Getting as fresh as we can here. Flush the toilet. Right? No rambunctious loud noises inside of the household. Inside voices. Drinking is allowed, but we're not going to get... What is the word I'm looking for?
Inebriated?
No, inebriated is not the word. Exaggerated is not the word. I'm going to say drink to excess, but that's also not delivering the way that I'm feeling right now. There will be certain areas of the house off limits.
Such as?
My makeup room, our bedroom, the whole man cave, the whiskey room. Unless you're invited back there by my husband. We'll get a little VIP rope or something. What else? We're not yelling. Unless a child's about to touch a hot stove or someone's drunk and getting ready to walk behind a car, we're not yelling. No tomfoolery here.
So with all of these rules that you're laying out, is this a conversation that you would have with in a group chat, or would this be an individual conversation with everybody that would be coming? How would you handle that? Because there's a lot there. And a lot of it comes down to just basic respect for somebody's home.
Right.
But how would you handle that?
I would make a really nice list. And I would laminate it and I would post it on the front door the day of.
Okay.
And I would know you read the list because at the very bottom of that list is going to say, please take your shoes off. And if you walk into my house without your shoes on, get out of here and read the list. Come back in and try again. Not doing that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so then how would the conversation go with us, knowing that you wanted to host?
Who are we inviting? Who are you okay with coming into the household? What time are we kicking everybody out by?
Okay.
Those kinds of things. And then, of course, whatever you want to tack onto the conversation.
Okay, so then what if you were like, babe, I want to invite both I'm making up, I don't even know if you have two aunts, but I'm going to say my 2 aunts, my sister, my 3 cousins, my mom, my dad, and my drunk Uncle Bob.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't want at least 4 of these people in our house.
Okay.
And you were like, but they're my family. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't want them in the house. How would we handle that whole scenario?
Well, I would like there to be discussion, right? If I'm not already aware of why, I would like to know why. And then, I mean, that really boils down to what's the priority for me? Am I willing to, because I do believe that the house is the man's kingdom, castle, the sanctuary. And I'm not willing to throw away that peace that we've cultivated for one night of whatever I'm looking to get out of this dinner or this family interaction or holiday or whatever.
Okay, so then what are reasonable excuses in your mind to negate those people being there? Because what if my answer is like, I just don't like them. They always sit in my spot. They're mean to the dog.
Then I'm having a conversation with that person because you don't sit in my husband's spot. I don't care if there's no other seats available. Sorry. When my husband walks into that room, that is his seat. We can get the foldable chairs out. We got seats outside. It's not too hot out.
So what if somebody makes a big deal about that being my spot?
You're more than welcome to leave.
Just like that.
I'm not going to fight with somebody about where my husband sits in his own home.
Okay. I know that's a very trivial thing. And for those of you who watch The Big Bang Theory, I am Sheldon when it comes to my seating.
Right, you are. Yeah.
You're in my spot.
Yeah.
Like I can't help it. That's mine.
Yeah.
And I won't sit down if somebody's sitting in my spot. I'll stand there. Did it last night. Little man was laying across the couch. I'm not going to tell you to move. You're in my spot. I'm going to fucking stand here.
Yeah.
And that's, I know that's a me problem. I know that that's not an everyone thing, but that is a relevant thing. So like, you have people who, for example, there are people who only drink one specific type of soda. Mm-hmm. And if you make sure you have the soda for them and everyone else drinks that soda and then they've got nothing to drink, like how do you navigate those kind of things? Because this is not an easy thing. When you invite a bunch of family members and a bunch of friends and you're getting a whole bunch of people together, 2 sides of a family even,
Yes.
There's going to be debauchery.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There's going to be arguments over politics and religion and relationships and
morals or whatever.
all the tea,
Yeah.
religion, all of it. So
Pull up some floor. I love that. Hit him with that. You can do a wall squat.
yeah. So how do you navigate all of that? And trying to maintain peace.
So me as a person, I am very particular about the things I put into my body. It's very hard for me to eat meat majority of the time. And I have very eclectic. Is that the word?
Eclectic.
Eclectic orders. For example, my pizza order is extra sauce, almost no cheese, and extra pepperoni.
Which they never get right.
They never get it right. They never do. It's always extra cheese, almost no sauce, and then. So if I'm drinking a particular drink and I'm the only one drinking that drink, I'm going to bring it myself. I'm not going to expect the host to provide something for me when there's 30 people coming over. I'm just that person. I'll bring my own thing and make sure that I'm providing what I specifically want.
Okay, so then how would you handle somebody else drinking that while you're hosting? Like, say I brought my Coke Zero.
Right.
And I got like the cream soda Coke Zero, which I don't even know if this is a thing, but let's say that it is.
Right.
And I brought it. I'm like, I brought this for me so that I have my own drink. Mm-hmm. And I go in the fridge like 2 hours later and there's one left. And I start fucking getting angry because somebody drank all my shit.
We're going to shut down the party for a second.
Okay, because you're host. Like,
I am. Oh, yeah, I'm going to shut down this party for a second. I'm putting everybody on the spot.
So how does that look?
That looks like, because you bring something specifically for yourself, I'm that person. I'm going to hit everybody in the party. I mean, I'm the host. I have to hit everybody in the party anyway. But it takes me nothing to go, hey, just so you know, the cream Coke Zeros in the fridge are off limits. Somebody brought them for themselves. That's the only thing they're going to drink. Don't touch it.
Okay.
Y'all got a warning.
Note.
Little post-it note, whatever. And if those two barriers fail and somebody is still drinking that soda, I'm shutting down this party. Because all of you are, not all of you, that's a very broad statement. I'm getting a little bit heated because my husband brought the soda for himself. I need to step back for a second. I'm gonna stop this party, and I'll be extra. I will get a bullhorn if we have one. Attention party goers. One or more of you have clearly not paid attention to my words or the sticky note plastered in the fridge. So will a guilty party and or parties step forward before I end this? I will eat all of this food by myself. You can take what you came with and toodles.
That's funny.
You start pointing fingers at everybody. I'm snitching real quick. I don't do that disrespect, especially if it's been communicated beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what about like kid situations? Right? We have a really big yard.
Right.
We have a playground for the kids. Let's assume that people are bringing their semen demons over.
Yeah.
How is that going to look? Is this going to be a kids need to play outside until dinner, or are you going to let them run around the house all rampant and be loud and noisy? Like, how would you handle that situation?
So I'd make it into a game for the kids, right? Every time you come in, you're going to get scanned. And every time you get scanned, you're inside. The moment that you have an outside voice, an adult's going to pick you up and put you outside, and you're going to have to go through the whole process again. Disrupted in the middle of playtime, when they're done going to the bathroom. If you shouted from the bathroom, you're going to immediately be picked up outside of that door and be taken outside. I'm going to get all the parents in on it too. They're going to learn that the inside, we got inside voices. We can play inside, but we're not running. We're not bringing sticks in. We're not throwing rocks. Do all of that outside.
So the reason that I ask you all of these things, obviously, is because this is the chaos that is every single holiday situation for every family. You're going to have the people who indulge a little bit too much, whether that be with food or beverage or alcohol or other things. You're going to have the physical altercations from time to time when the drinking has been happening and somebody says something somebody doesn't like, or somebody tries to correct somebody else's child, those kind of things, especially in big families. There's going to be a lot of tension and hostility. Where do you draw the line on wanting to host or handle all of that? Because for me, like I wouldn't want to do that. I think the ideal situation for a family would be the four of us, the two kids, you and I, and like maybe 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And none of it being our immediate family.
Yeah.
Locally anyways. You know what I mean? If we were going to my mom's in Tennessee, that would be different, but we would be guests, not hosts. I think that this time of year creates a lot of conflict in marriages, because there's a lot of people who don't get along with their in-laws, and the people are like, well, that's my family. Well, I'm your family.
Right. I'm the family you chose too.
Right. So where's the balance of we have to host and be gracious to the people that I'm related to versus maintaining the peace in the home?
I don't understand how that's a question, because the moment disrespect happens in my home, I don't care who you are, you're leaving.
You're not. Well, most people aren't going to feel that way.
Yeah.
Most people want their parents, for example, to be respected by their partner. And you hear that, well, they're my parents. And then you'll hear, well, this is my house, or this is our house. I live here. They don't. For example, if you were hosting and we invited a lot of people and somebody tried to push Ivy off of her chair, I'm going to lose my fucking mind, because she lives here.
Yeah, they're going to get pushed.
Right. You have no right to that chair. That's hers. I understand that you may not have realized that, but don't push my fucking dog. Yeah. Like, I will lose my shit over that. I don't care if she's taking up the entire chair and 3 people can sit there or not. It's her fucking couch. She actually does have her own chair.
She does.
And there's not going to be a polite aspect to that, because I would view that the same as somebody pushing my child. Like, your fucking hands to yourself. Right. If I felt like she needed to move so that you could sit down, I'd have moved her. I'd have told her to get down or whatever. But I didn't do that. That's obviously your cue that that's not your fucking place to sit. I understand that creates problems with people too, because you don't say. That was a growl yawn.
That was, yeah.
I don't think that. I was about to say some shit about a really old person, and that doesn't work for me, because in the event that there was an old person there standing waiting to sit down where Ivy was at, I would just give up my spot.
Right.
Because there's a respect thing in your elders in that aspect. But, you're very particular about your kitchen.
I am, yes.
So are you going to have somebody come over and help you cook, or is this going to be like a women in the kitchen and men on the porch kind of thing? Like how does that work for you? And how would you navigate that for the people who, let's say you are going to be like, women are in the kitchen, men are outside. How are you going to handle that when the women are like, they should be in here cooking?
I don't want complainers here. Get out. I'll do it by myself. Is this what your husband goes through? My goodness gracious, leave.
You're really that like just put a stop to it.
I really don't put up with it. I don't. Yeah. You can either be in here and help me, or you can go out there with your husband and do nothing. Either or. I'm good with it. I don't have to live with the choices that other people make. So after Thanksgiving, when they're laying awake in bed at night thinking about the day, I don't have to think about the things they're thinking about.
Do you think that that after doing these events and having people over, that you would slowly start to cull your list down of who's going to be invited based off of past behaviors?
Yeah. Yep.
So
be like a VIP invitation only kind of thing.
Right.
I'll have a bouncer at the front door. Your name's not on the list. Sorry, can't let you in.
So what if it was somebody that had an alcohol problem, and you knew they had an alcohol problem, and you invited them anyways, but told them no alcohol? And then they showed up with a big cup, and halfway through the event, you can tell that they're intoxicated.
They're leaving immediately.
And what happens if a scene breaks out between family members? Are you going to just kick out everyone at that point? And like, how would that work for you afterwards, after you had planned all of that food for everyone?
They can all take it to go. I can drop it off at a homeless shelter. I can eat it. You can eat it. There's really no hang-ups for me to let something ruin a night. Even if the night fell apart, right? Somebody got arrested. 2 people have a black eye. Not doing this next year. Lesson learned. Can't believe that this is what we've been a part of.
Yeah.
Because all of that's not, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Yes, you do. You saw the warning signs. We know that Uncle Bob has had a drinking issue. We know that Uncle Tim's been talking shit for the last 6 months about it.
Yeah.
This is not, oh my stars. Grandma, the pearls. No.
All right. So then the big ground rules for inviting family over or anyone over is no politics, no religion, no alcohol. Kids need to be outside.
With outside voices.
You need to parent your own children.
Yes. And if you don't parent your child, I will step in. I'm not going to have broken things in my household, or if I had to tell your child once, hey, don't push my daughter off the slide, and I catch it happening again and you don't discipline the child, guess what? You're going to stand in the corner for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah. People have a hard time with that one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be, I think you putting that out there to a lot of families would make them just not come with their kids.
Perfect.
I agree. I agree.
I wanted to touch on, you were talking about women being in the kitchen and the men being outside. If I were to host and I were having people helping me in the kitchen, I want the people in there who can cook and want to cook. And if those people complain, you can get out. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you here. I can do everything on my own. Yeah, I'd much rather do everything on my own than have negative Nancys around. I also wouldn't be hosting if that's the kind of people who are coming over. I'm aware of the people who are entering my home.
Okay, so but that still falls on the one person not wanting people there and the other wanting people there.
Right. Okay.
Because like if my family was all alcoholics and I really wanted my mom and my dad and my cousin and all my friends, my relatives to be there, and you're like every time they come around, there's a problem between them and my family and blah 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 blah. But you and I are then going to be at odds because I want to see my family and you want to see yours.
Just start doing separate holidays.
Like Christmas at one and Thanksgiving at the other?
No, you can go spend the holiday with your family for Thanksgiving and I'll go spend it with mine.
Give me 1 second, babe.
It blows my mind the hills that people are willing to die on.
Well, you said that I'll go to my family, you go to yours. Mm-hmm. But then what about us wanting to spend our holidays together? Like you and I spending our holidays together.
Well, I figured that this would have already been a conversation before we got married.
I'm sure it would have been.
Right.
But if it, let's say that even if it was, and we decided that we were going to start hosting now because we have the biggest yard.
Right.
And everybody's going to come to us, or maybe we live in like the middle range of everyone.
Right.
And we agree that that's the way it's going to be. But after a couple of holidays, we realize that it's not quite what we thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And now there's problems. How do we work through that so that you and I can still have a successful holiday season without disrupting the peace of our home, without having to worry about who's doing what?
I mean, there's multiple ways to handle this. Either accept that that's how this is going to happen because you have to have the family holidays. This is the people you're inviting. If you don't like the way it's playing out, don't host. Don't invite those people. Have conversations with the people about their behavior. Those conversations might lead to, well, I'm just not going to come over. Well, that sucks, but they made that choice.
Right.
I don't see the point in arguing over this. I really don't.
I think the arguments happen because people want their cake and to eat it too. The people want to have that special holiday, or they want to make memories with, grandkids opening presents or kids opening presents and having the cousins and everyone together. When we go to Tennessee and do holidays around my family up there, the kids have a fucking blast.
Oh yeah.
And we get to eat good food and hang out for a little while, but even that is very limited time frame for me. Like I get
burnt out,
over socialized very quickly. And like if I can go ride the dirt bikes or go sit outside and I can just kind of maneuver around until I'm content, it's very different. But if you're hosting or you're bringing somebody around your family for the first time, you have to be a gracious host. There's manners. There's a whole lot of expectation that's laid in there. Etiquette. Yeah. So like, I can understand why there's a lot of stress this time of year in trying to make things work. I also am not delusional in knowing that if we were going to be hosting and we wanted somebody to come over that I knew was going to create problems, I got to be honest, I would probably put my foot down and be like, we're either not going to invite them or we're not doing this here.
Right.
And people would be like, well, that's her family. You can't tell her she can't have them over. The fuck I can't. This is our house.
I'm paying the bills on this bitch.
Right. If we wanted to have something like that and we didn't want somebody coming over, it would be a very big discussion. And there's going to be somebody that's going to lose in that situation. Right? Technically, everyone loses in that situation. I don't know how I would handle that. If there was somebody that, let's say that there was a couple that were your relatives that had really obnoxious, badass kids. And I was like, look, I don't mind the husband, but they don't parent their children, and having them all over here doesn't make sense. Like they're going to come around. They're going to be little terrors. They're going to fucking ruin the holidays. I don't want them here. And you're like, but that's my family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, your family's not welcome in the house. Like you would then have to choose between me and your family.
Right.
And I understand that you have this is the chosen family mindset, but a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, I really do, because I would have no issue telling my sister your kids are not well behaved. Like these are very young futures being held in the hands of people. And if I recognize behaviors in children that are very problematic and there's no discipline from the children, especially as a family member, and they're my nieces and nephews, yeah, I'm gonna say something. It might sour the relationship, but as a human being and as a mother, I can't just stand by and watch a parent not be a parent.
So then what you're saying is there needs to be very clear defined boundaries of the house that needs to be discussed between the people who own the house,
right,
and are deciding the host, and then there needs to be clear communication with the rest of the family.
Yeah, and hard conversations if they need to be had.
Okay.
If you're willing to invite grandma, but you're not willing to invite grandpa, You're either going to have to tell grandma you guys aren't invited, or you're invited, but we don't want grandpa around because every time he drinks, he scares the kids.
Yeah. So, okay, so then let's do another scenario. Let's say that we had like an evil sibling, brother or sister or whatever, and we invite our parents, and the parents knew that the evil sibling was going to be alone for Thanksgiving. And they invite that sibling over, and you have no idea, and they show up. Do you allow the sibling in with the parents, or do you say, hey, you weren't invited, you're not welcome here, it's time for you to leave?
I've heard that Perkins has a really good Thanksgiving dinner.
You'd really go to that route?
I would, yes.
Okay.
If I invite somebody to my home and they, unbeknownst to me, invite somebody else, and it's well known that this person was not invited for a reason, yeah, that's a slap to my face.
Are you kicking out the people who brought them too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. The disrespect's loud in that.
Okay.
You don't get to make decisions on my behalf in that regard, especially when it comes to who's coming into my household. Yep.
So then what do you think causes all these problems with people? Because this is no-brainer shit to me. Like
People
you and
pleasing.
I are really on the same fucking page on all of this. Like if we were to host and somebody was like, hey, can we bring so-and-so? And we don't want them there. No, you can't. And if somebody was like, if you were like, I don't want so-and-so, I'd be like, I'm not going to invite them. Or we just not do this. We can do this by ourselves and have just as good of a time. We do, dinner every night. Like,
right.
So I guess I don't understand why people have such a hard time with the holidays. I do understand like the isolation and the abandonment of having your wife or your husband leave and you being stuck there by yourself and everyone disappearing for the weekend or for the week or for the day or whatever, because the holidays are supposed to be special times. And I believe that if you're a family and you're married and you're doing the family thing, you shouldn't be separating to go.
Right.
I think you should be picking your family over your biological family. I think that matters.
I agree with that. And when I said that, one goes off with the other family and one goes off with their family. In my mind, there's already not a relationship there. If there was a sound marriage and there was a disagreement on who's allowed in the household, it would just be a conversation. It wouldn't be but they're my family, or but that's my mom, but that's Uncle Tim.
Right.
Uncle Tim's addicted to. I don't want that around the children. If you would like to have that kind of Thanksgiving and be around your family and have the memories because that's Uncle Tim, you can go do that elsewhere. I don't want that in the household.
I really thought this was going to be a really long conversation.
Yeah.
But there's not, because we agree on so much of this that we can't even really have a back and forth of devil's advocate. Like I'm trying to throw like, well, what if scenarios, but you
can try to get this back up with
you're
Discord.
very steadfast on it. I mean, at this point we can interact with them after.
Yeah.
But there's no point in doing that. And then,
yeah, my bullshit tolerance really is not there anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because a lot of people struggle this time of year. Like this is not an easy time of year for a lot of people, especially married couples.
I lived my life so long. I was living with other people's expectations of the life I should be living and what that looked like to love others, even if it made me feel uncomfortable. And I'm not willing to do that anymore.
Okay, so then let's do this scenario. Let's say that I invited my cousin down.
Okay.
Right. And let's say that you guys didn't like him or whatever, and I was like, he doesn't have a family. It's just him and I. I would really like him to be here for it. It would mean a lot to me, blah, blah, blah. And you were very anti him being here. And then you agree to it because it would make me happy. Are you going to play nice the entire time, or are you going to be salty that you caved to make me happy, knowing that you're going to be miserable during that time frame? How does that look?
Me caving is not a you problem. Me caving is a me issue. For whatever reason, I didn't feel like it was worthy to continue to fight for my point of view or whatever. Me caving is my own weakness of not wanting to hear this discussion anymore. That's not a you problem.
So how do you handle it?
I would be civil. Up until the moment he says something outside of his neck to me. There's a reason I don't like him, right?
Right.
So if that reason shows itself, babe, I'm walking away. Let me know when everybody leaves, but I'm not participating in this anymore. And I would walk away.
When you have that conflict, because I really wanted him there, you've made it clear now that you're not going to be taking a part of this. Let's say you go in your room or whatever, where you sit outside on the back porch away from everybody and you become antisocial. There's going to be a feeling of, well, damn, that just ruined the holidays. There's going to be people like, why is she always like this? There's going to be a whole lot of negativity that stems from that.
Why would she's always like this? Why would that be a thing?
Well, if that
Because
person,
this was a scenario with us and your cousin.
right? Well, I'm assuming that there's other family there.
Okay.
I'm really just trying to make up scenarios to try to throw things at you to see how you'd handle it, because I agree with all of this.
Gotcha.
I got to be honest. If I wanted somebody there and you really didn't, and I somehow got my way to come down and they got disrespectful and it ruined the thing, I would just end it and be like, all right, everybody get out. Because I know that after they leave, you and I still have to repair whatever happened, because you were going to be upset with the fact that they still came and that I pushed.
And it played out the way I thought it would.
Right.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole lot of back and forth that would need to be had on our parts after the fact. And that would be a discussion that would need to be had too. And that's not something I'd want to have late at night after everybody's gone home. And I definitely don't want it to continue into the next day. So like our approach to this is probably why you and I don't have problems like this in our lives, because we're the home is, the house is a castle. Like that's the kingdom. Nobody's allowed in there unless we invite them. And we are very in tune with who's coming in and who's not. And we have big discussions about it first. We also have boundaries set up ahead of time so that we know what to expect from people and they know what to expect as well. We also don't have a rotating door where people can just show up whenever the fuck they want. So like, you know.
Yeah, you show up unexpected, you could get...
Yeah.
Don't play that game.
I honestly don't have anything else for this.
No.
Nope. I really thought we were going to have a crazy back and forth, but because, like I said, we agree on all of this, there's not. I feel bad for people who don't have the same understanding of what their house is supposed to look like and then have conflict over their families, or have the stress of a family member coming that they don't want to be in their home, or whatever the case may be. And people who have the daddy's girl or mama's boy situation where, but that's my mom and my dad, they're welcome here, they're my family. And then there's even worse is the separation of the two people going their own way because it's showing there's no dedication to the house.
Right.
I view that separation and viewing the inviting of people that you don't want in your home as putting the relationship or the spouse second or third to the relatives. So then what do you say to the people who are like the parents that shame for not going? Let's say that one of our parents invited us and our whole families were going there and we decided not to go. And they want to know why, and they try to guilt you or shame you into showing up even though you've made it clear that you don't want to go there. And what does that say about your people?
A lot. A lot of my childhood would probably make more sense to me if I recognized that they guilt trip me and shame me into doing things that I don't want to do. I'm such an extreme person. I'd be like, look, I could never talk to you again if you want to act like this. I told you I don't want to come this year. It's nothing personal against you guys. We are totally burnt out. We wanted to have a nice little intimate dinner, and we can probably come next year. And if you want to take that personally, you can go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to argue with you about this. You're not going to get your way. We're not going to magically show up like a Christmas movie. We still love you. If you want to do this, you can do it by yourself, or we can never talk again.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupidity that comes with the arguing and trying to force people to come because they already don't want to be there. Them showing up is not going to make it be a good time. They're doing it because they feel obligated to the person who guilted them. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. I don't really like big gatherings. I don't like lots of people. I prefer to be the guest over the host because it's real easy to leave when I'm done.
Oh yeah, Irish goodbyes are nice.
Yeah, yep. And I don't feel guilty about leaving when I've had enough of people. But so I think the takeaway from this episode is that you really need to establish boundaries ahead of time. They need to be clear. In the age of technology, there's no reason not to have a group chat.
Right.
And you can set it up with the head of every household. You don't have to have everyone in there. You can literally just get all the moms together and be like, all right, guys, here's the fucking plan. Kids are going to be outside from 2 to 4, dinners at 5. We'll spend an hour getting cleaned up and ready for dinner, setting the table, blah, blah, blah. No alcohol, no religion, no politics. If people have issues with this, go ahead and let us know that you're not coming. If you have specific things that you want to bring. Ladies in the kitchen, men on the porch, however you want to fucking handle that. And having that very clear, drawn out expectations of what the holidays are going to look like, I think is going to eliminate a whole lot of problems.
I agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful discussion.
It's less than 40 minutes. It's a short episode.
Friday content. So.
Yeah. You want to wrap up?
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, guys, remember you are the author of your own life,
So grab a pen.
and we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.